Hey, everybody. Welcome back again to a little Austin Sports Weekend with Austin, the man himself, fresh back from Charlotte, where we watched the first two rounds over in Charlotte, over to Spectrum Center. Had a really good time. So we got some basketball to talk about, got some highlights to talk about
And we have a clown show developing.
in the NFL. Yeah. But first of all, thanks again to SevereTV.com for setting us up here in studio. And thanks again for Autographs Plus for sponsoring us. Be sure and check them out too. Got stores in Sevierville and Pigeon Forge. But let's talk some basketball. First of all, let's just do a quick little recap of the round of 32. First of all, if you guys ever get a chance to go, this was our first time that we had ever went to the actual tourney. Most of the time we're working too much or too busy. We don't get to we have to watch it on TV. But if you ever get a chance to go, it's a spectacular environment. It was really one of the
Especially if you get a blast of band music in your ears.
it was yeah, we were close to the band. They weren't too loud though. It was, I mean, they were a couple sections over, but we got to hear bands every weekend, and it was just really fun. So if you ever get a chance to go to a tourney game, get you a ticket. It's fun. But we'll just jump through here. Our Tennessee won their first game rather easy. The second game they went 3 of 25 from 3-point range, but still
And almost made me throw up in my seat.
yeah, you were sitting there. It was hard to watch that last minute, wasn't it? It was like, oh, it's so nerve-wracking.
I'm being honest, though.
You think you're
when you see 3 of 25, it makes me want to hurl.
yeah. But one thing we'll give them credit for, they never lost their defensive focus. They never lost their defensive focus, never forgot who they are first, which is a defensive team. They struggled from shooting, but they kept the pressure on. And what did they do? The most important thing to do at the end of games,
Free throws.
you make your foul shots. How many How many teams did we watch over this tourney so far lose
because they can't
couldn't
hit a
make
shot?
the foul shots?
Plenty.
A bunch of them, but
Some coaches don't practice that.
Tennessee goes 7 for their last 7 on foul shots. Really 6 for 6 right there at the very end. Even the big man Adu went 2 for 2, and that's how they won the game. So
they were veterans.
They were 1 for 21 shooting threes. They didn't give up. They went 2 for 4 at the end, and then hit 6 straight foul shots, and that's how they won the game. Texas fought hard. Texas had a good defensive plan, but Tennessee pulled out. So we're proud of our Vols for jumping into the Sweet 16. Go Vols. But again, that was a really fun environment. Just jumping through some of the other games real quick. Dayton, Arizona. Arizona's got a fantastic team. They've been up and down a little bit this year, but they took care of Dayton.
And Dayton coming off of a amazing comeback victory over Nevada. I need to mention Nevada's choke.
That was probably one of the downlights of this. Nevada Wolfpack has a fantastic team. They were up, 17 points?
In the last 7:50 in the game, which should have been easy
enough. They were up
enough.
17 with less than 8 minutes left.
And they only mustered 2 points in that whole rest of the game.
And lost.
It was embarrassing.
It's hard. Somebody took their foot off the gas or something.
I'm going to blame Steve Alford, their head coach, because you can't have that happen in
a
tournament game.
If you're up 17 points with 8 minutes left, then your goal should be to be up 20 points with 5 minutes left. You should really go for and we see this in football too. Some teams get up and they take their foot off, and you got to go for it. I mean, you got to keep on going. You got to keep on putting your foot down. You got to keep going forward, because if not, then somebody will go on a 17-2 run and tie the game. Texas A&M and Houston. That was fun too. On the next game, Gonzaga took care of Kansas. Kansas has been up and down too.
Injuries
Injuries beat them. And Bill Self even said in the postgame interview, for honestly the last couple of weeks, he's been thinking about next season. He knew his team
was so injury-riddled.
That it was going to be tough for them to go far in the tournament.
And Gonzaga kind of exposed it.
Now, Gonzaga
into
the Sweet 16 for how many years in a row?
9 years in a row. They've made a residence in
there. No
there.
team to start out has ever went 9 in a row to Sweet 16. So
They've made a house up there. They've built a house up there. They've made a residence up there.
They go ahead and rent hotels a year in advance because they know they're going to be there. So yeah, it's nuts. So Kansas Kansas will be back again next year. Bill Self's a great coach, and they get great recruits.
Yep, it's Kansas, by the way, guys. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything to worry about.
No. Michigan State, North Carolina. Oh, that was a good game. It was really, really close until halfway through the second quarter. That's one of them that we got to watch. And it felt like it was an honor to get to watch Michigan State
And
play
North
North Carolina
Carolina.
play in the tournament. That was really, really,
Old
really
Tournament
fun.
Izzo, I don't think Tournament Izzo had enough to take
No,
on.
he just didn't have the talent. His team started out this year in the top 10.
They kind of sputtered a bit, and now they climbed their way back up here a bit. They win against Mississippi State, which is a positive. But
We told you, don't count out Izzo in the first round. I'm never going to go against Izzo in the first round because this tournament Izzo, totally different Izzo. Doesn't matter how bad the team is. I'm not going to count out. But in the second round, they came up against a juggernaut
North Carolina
called
is playing.
Baycott.
The
They
guy,
didn't have anything to stop Baycott. Baycott was all over
big
them.
bodies are of necessity to beat North Carolina down low.
Yeah, big time. North Carolina, when it looks good.
They look pretty sharp going into
They
that
took
Sweet 16,
they
don't
took they took Michigan State's best punch
And counterpunched.
and counterpunched and beat them by 16 at the end. So that was fantastic. We had Washington State, Iowa State. Iowa State, they struggled a little bit with them. Washington State kept it close for a while. But again,
But Iowa State's their defense kind of stuffed them in the bag a bit here.
held them to 56 points. 56 points is pretty low. It's
That's Iowa State's specialty under their head coach. His name is very, very special because no one else has a name like T.J. Otzelberger.
Otzelberger. That's a Coach Otzelberger. Hey, it takes all kinds. And then we had some of our upset teams. Oakland. We need to talk about this for a second.
Oh, Kentucky.
Oakland, the 14th seed Oakland, beat the
Beat the coach who
beat
is
the 3 seed.
the beat seed
Kentucky.
The 3 seed Kentucky with the most overrated coach in sports. I'm
I don't
saying
know.
it right here.
Calipari is the best recruiter. He's the best recruiter out there. I don't think there's anybody that can recruit as good as players as he does.
But I could think of 100 better X's and O's
He
coaches.
he struggles getting that talent to win.
And that's what I've criticized him for. That's what
And
you
honestly,
criticized him for.
And honestly, it's been for probably maybe for the last 7 or 8 years. He used to be a defensive mind coach. He was defensive first, and then you throw some talent in there and you play defense and throw some talent. And that's who they used to be. And for some reason, in the past 7 or 8 years, and
He's
it's really got
completely
really
changed.
prominent over the past 5 years. He's went young. Everybody's a new freshman every year, and it's went more and more to just offense and
He's had Oscar Shibwe, and he hasn't won only one tournament game with him. He's had this class of freshmen and can't win a game.
no.
That's a
Lost
problem.
their first game in the SEC tournament, and then turned around and lost their very next game, the first game in the tournament, in the 64 March Madness. I
There's
don't know.
discussions about him leaving Kentucky and the
We
AD.
will know by the end of March. We're supposed to know by the end of March whether he's staying or going. The only way,
This is a pivotal offseason for Kentucky.
see, they already have a powerhouse of recruits coming in. The trouble is, it's the same story as he's had
Every year.
every year. These great guys are gone, and you're bringing in new ones, and then you're trying to win with people who have never played together, never gelled together. You've got, maybe one veteran player on the whole team.
When Kentucky
And
won
then-
the championship 12 years from now, they
There we
had
go.
veterans.
Yeah.
They had veterans. They had players. They did have one freshman star, but it was veteran riddled.
Yeah. And Calipari even admitted in the post-game interview, I got a group of 19-year-olds playing against 23 and 24-year-olds. Well, whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that?
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Kentucky. Louisville picked up their head coach. They took Florida Atlantic, just to throw that nugget out there.
Michigan actually got their head-
Michigan got him. So Louisville is open for a coach.
Oh boy, are we gonna have a Rick Pitino part 2 here, where Rick
don't
Pitino
know.
leaves Kentucky for a rival school?
Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, Oakland played NC State. NC State is my surprise team. They played 5 straight games in the ACC championship, won the ACC championship,
And they're
and they
still
are
here,
still bulldozing people. They won the round of 64 team
centered
matchup.
around their big boy down low, DJ Burns.
Yeah, who did they beat first round?
They defeated Texas Tech,
Oh,
and
yeah,
now
that's
they
Texas Tech.
defeated upstart Oakland.
And now they beat Oakland. So NC State is into the round of 16, and they might not have even made the tourney if they didn't win their
It's
conference
one of those
championship.
March stories, ain't it?
And their center is a mixture of Akeem Olajuwon
And Dad Zach Randolph.
and Zach Randolph. He's a big boy.
He is. If you see DJ Burns, he's a big boy.
He's like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man out there playing center. He's a load. He's a big old beef of load of people. But they're fun to watch. They're a really fun team to watch. So NC State's on. Duquesne, Illinois. Duquesne was another upset team.
Duquesne, I'll give them credit and props, just like I will give Oakland here
Mm-hmm.
for getting a first-round upset for the first time in forever
The Duquesne hadn't won a game. Was it ever or was it
since the 70s.
since the 70s? Yeah, it was like 40-something years, wasn't it? So congrats to Duquesne. They went on up to Illinois though, and Illinois
Is a
they are a complete team now. They have all their players back. You know, at the first of the year, they had lost that young player.
Illinois looks really, really good. Don't
Illinois
they?
looks good. Illinois and NC State could sneak up and still beat some people this next round too. We had Oregon Creighton went into overtime. Oregon came to play too. They surprised me a little bit too. They were better than what I thought they were going to be in the tournament. But when they went to overtime, Creighton,
Second overtime, Creighton's veterans took over.
they won by 13. Yeah.
Creighton is a
Oregon
veteran,
ran out of gas.
very much so. Creighton is a veteran team
Yeah.
that loves to shoot the three.
They are a very good shooting team.
They
Rebounding, not so much defensive, middle of the pack, but
field
they
goal
can
percentage-
shoot the ball.
Field goal percentage, Creighton's one of the best in the country.
They can shoot the ball. So on go the Creighton Blue Jays. The Sunday games we have Colorado, Marquette. Marquette struggled with them a little bit too. This was down to the wire, but Marquette pulled it off
Because
and got
they
that
had
4-point.
veterans. Because veterans are what you need in a tournament game close.
Yeah, you got to have some veterans. Speaking of a tournament powerhouse, Purdue, Utah State. Purdue won by 39.
Well,
Zach Edey, it's hard.
for opponents to scheme against him because of his
What-
size.
If you were to guess which team left in the tournament at this point has the fewest amount of blocks per game, who would you say it is?
You would not say Purdue, would you?
It's Purdue.
You would not say Purdue.
Purdue, with a 7'5" center, has the fewest blocks
In the
on
tournament.
average in the tournament. The reason is people scheme their game plan of like, we ain't going in there.
Yeah, I mean, why would you want to drive against a 7'4"
The thing about
big
it,
boy?
the thing about it is, you've got to go in there. You've got to go in there and try. You've got to go in there and pick up some fouls, maybe force some fouls on Edey. You know, he's not Michael Jordan. He would probably foul you if you played proper against him, you know, and didn't charge him, didn't do it. But for Purdue to have the fewest amount of block was surprising to me. And also, the highest percentage on three-point shots is Purdue. It's not Creighton. It's Purdue.
Yeah, Purdue has the best three-point shooters.
You know why? They go into Edey. Everybody collapses down on Edey to stop him, and he pitches out to a wide-open shooter.
I mean, I don't
So
think
far, their offense seems really simple to me, but for some reason, nobody.
works.
It works.
it's
super
the
works.
inside out, irreversible. It worked
It
for
is.
the Magic back in the
They
90s.
play inside out ball. They Edey to the shooters, and it works perfectly.
I don't think Matt Painter really had to work too hard on scheming the offense.
No, I think I could take that team and go quite a bit with it. We had James Madison Duke, and James Madison was another upset.
Congrats to them for winning their first tournament game
Who
since
did they
a long
upset?
time.
Who was
Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, Wisconsin's had an up and down year too.
But Duke kind of brought them to reality a bit.
Duke is on to the Sweet 16. I mean, how many times has that been said? 100?
A while. It's the
don't
first
know.
under the John Shire era.
Yeah,
so.
but looks like John Shire's got him back on track again, though. We had Clemson Baylor. Clemson's a little better than I gave them credit for, too. Clemson looks like they don't have any superstars.
They just play together.
Everybody is pretty good.
They just play together.
There's no bad players on the team.
Clemson can make their foul shots. Clemson can play post up. They can shoot the ball.
They rebound, they pass, they distribute. Clemson is just honestly a well coached team.
Have you noticed a trend with these Sweet 16 teams? 4 of them are ACC teams.
Yes, which
People love to crap on all year.
people love to crap on the whole year, but there's 4 ACC teams. Baylor went out. Baylor, I thought was they had sort of an up and down year too. They looked they looked unbeatable at times, and then
They struggled defensively.
They struggled defensively. Grand Canyon won their first game. Who did they beat?
St. Mary's, and that was
St. Mary's.
last game of the first round, and it was an upset.
It was an upset. It was beautiful. But Grand Canyon came up against Alabama.
And could
Alabama
not outscore the offensive juggernaut that is.
No.
They are an offensive team.
Alabama is a offensive team. They only scored 72, though. Grand Canyon had a good defensive scheme against them. They just couldn't keep up with their scoring. They just couldn't do it. We had Northwestern, UConn. UConn looks
dominant.
They look like the number 1 seed in the tournament.
They are dominant.
They're dominating. They are dominating quite a bit. Yeah. So they beat Northwestern by 20.
It looked like they barely even tried against Stetson.
They beat them. They beat Northwestern by 17, and honestly, it could have been worse than that. One of the most exciting games of the whole entire thing was Texas A&M Houston. Texas A&M was down 7. No, they were down 15 points with a minute. What was it?
32.
A minute 32 left.
And Texas
Down
A&M
15.
found a way.
They outscored Houston 17-2 in the last buck 30. How do you score 17 points in a minute and 30 seconds? I don't understand that, but man, took Houston to overtime and then
Fought tooth and nail.
yeah, and then they got took to the shed in overtime.
Yes, literally to the shed.
Literally. Houston's player shed decided to take over, and Houston pulled that out. Houston is vulnerable too, though. They are an offensive juggernaut, but defensively,
They've had their struggles recently.
they've had some struggles recently. So Houston is a little vulnerable. Our last upset, Yale beat Auburn.
Well, leave it up to the Ivy League to get some recognition here.
Yeah, and there's even whispering rumors about Pearl now. That Pearl may move on or something. That's just, it's
Some
just
rumors.
It's just backdoor rumors. There's probably nothing about it, but Auburn does good, and then
The tournament comes
Tournament
around
comes
and
down
they
and they-
disappoint.
so San Diego State took care of Yale pretty easy. San Diego State in last year's championship game.
And San Diego State is that's a team I trust. And the Mountain West is kind of disappointed. Let's just say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, everybody was saying, "Oh, the Mountain West got shafted. They were seated too low." No, it looks like they were seated maybe
Properly.
too high. They might have should have dropped a couple of those teams out and put in some Big East teams, or so on and so forth. But anyways, that's what makes the tourney fun as we get these upsets. Let's go ahead and talk about the Sweet 16. The next 8 games are this Thursday, the 28th, and Friday, the 29th. We got Clemson, Arizona. The first game on Thursday at 7 o'clock on CBS. Clemson, Arizona, that is a very
Interesting game.
interesting game. Arizona has been up and down, and Clemson is on fire. What do you think about that one?
I think Arizona would be a good pick here because, they got the talent.
Yeah.
I do trust Arizona a little bit more in terms of their scoring ability.
Yeah, the only in these first 4 games, honestly, if there was an upset, this would be it for me, because Clemson's they've been overachieving. So I would not be surprised. I think Arizona is the better team too, but I would not be surprised if Clemson pulls this one out. San Diego State, UConn.
It's a bit of a flashback.
This is a recap of last year's national championship game.
And here they are again.
And here they are again. It would be fun and exciting to see San Diego State win this game, but I don't think it's going to.
They are just every opponent the UConn has had has been just way outmatched, and I think it's happened here again.
I think it's going to happen again too. The line on this thing is 10.5. I mean, it's
they're predicting it to be
go.
They're predicting it to
be
be
a beat down.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Alabama, North Carolina. This will be another exciting game. The line's under 5. It's at 4.5.
There was an interesting little rumor out there that if North Carolina didn't make the tournament this year, they would have let go of Hubert Davis and possibly chased after Nate Oates.
Oh.
But that did not happen, so here we are.
North Carolina looks good.
But Hubert Davis has turned it around at North Carolina, hasn't he?
He struggled last year. They were preseason top 10 and then ended up not even making the tournament.
But he's
This
rebounded.
year-
He's got it together.
They're 29-7, and honestly, they're one of my top picks to even make it now. It may be, it's going to be coming between maybe North Carolina and UConn down to the end because those two look sort of the best out of the one season. But this game, if North Carolina's going to lose a game,
It probably might be this
it
one.
might be this one. I'm picking North Carolina.
I'm picking the Tar Heels too. I
Because
think they got a better team.
They are strong on the inside.
Armando Bacot is a strong presence down low.
And
I don't think
they've
Alabama
got a
has
good
the
point.
players.
They've got a good point guard.
RJ Davis.
RJ, he's fantastic. They play a little in and out with Davis, and I'm going to go with North Carolina.
I mean,
but,
teams don't
but again,
employ,
it wouldn't surprise me if Alabama took them down to the wire.
teams don't employ the big man 3 and out kind of strategy enough.
No.
Have a dominant big man and have shooters around him.
Purdue seems to be doing pretty good with that.
Yeah, Purdue's got that strategy down pat.
North Carolina State.
They got that. North Carolina's got that.
North Carolina's got NC State seems to be playing pretty good with the in and out from the big
Maybe
man.
Tennessee. Maybe Rick Barnes needs to take the. Hey,
Yeah.
maybe we'll have a dominant big man and have elite shooters around him.
Yay. The last one on Friday is Iowa State. This one is a toss-up.
I've got the Illini here.
I would probably got Illinois too, just because they seem to be gelling. And for me, talent is 50% of it, but the other 50% of it is gelling at the right time.
And Illinois looks like they're gelling.
They're gelled at the right time right now. So Illinois is definitely one of my picks to go to the Elite Eight. The Friday games, the first game we've got NC State Marquette. Then this one again should be fun to watch. I probably would lean towards Marquette just for talent.
Yeah, for talent, I feel like Marquette has a veteran presence right there.
Yeah.
That's Shaka Smart. How about Shaka Smart? How he's doing at Marquette?
Shaka Smart is a fantastic coach where he can be the boss of the program.
I think Texas was kind of
Texas was a little too big.
for him. I think he's good at a program like Marquette.
He could win a national title very easy. I'm going to lean on Marquette, but again, I think this is going to be a close game. Gonzaga, Purdue.
I think the Boilermakers get past this one.
The Boilermakers should go past this one too. I think
If they play like they did against Utah State, they win pretty easy.
Gonzaga, I think, has almost overachieved at this point
But
from
this is
what their
Mark,
talent is.
This is Mark Few we're talking about.
Yeah, Mark Few is again one of the best coaches in the league, but they don't have the talent this year that they have. Duke, Houston.
Now this one's going to be juicy.
This
if there ever one was.
is juicy.
Here's a possible upset pick if there ever was one.
Yeah, Duke wouldn't surprise me if they beat Houston. Again, NC State if they surprise Marquette.
That would probably make that NC State team one of the most crazy
Runs there ever. The last game of the night is our Tennessee Vols
playing against Creighton.
Played against Creighton.
In terms of matchups, we're better defensively, but they are better offensively.
Yeah, they're one of the top shooting teams outside. Not in the paint, but outside. They are actually the best shooting outside of the paint in the last 2 minutes of each half, and Tennessee is the best percentage-wise shooting inside the paint in the last 2 minutes of the half. Tennessee is great on rebounding. Creighton is not very good on rebounding. So this is a really good matchup, I think.
Creighton does have better three-point shooting.
Creighton's got better three-point shooting. We've got a better inside presence with Adu and Awaka.
The big key for Tennessee is trying to chase all those three-point shooters around.
Yeah. Again, I think, just my humble opinion, I think we need to play some inside out on this too. The way we get our three-point shooters more open shots is if we go inside, because we should be more. They've got a 7-footer. Creighton does have a 7-footer,
Kalkbrenner,
but he's not
Edey or Bacot.
Or Bacot. He's not a bruiser. He's not gonna throw a shoulder and an elbow to you and knock you 3 foot out from under the bucket. And Awaka will. Now I don't know how many fouls Awaka will get because he is an aggressive player. But
he's a key. He has to play exceptional.
I think I'm going to pick Tennessee to win this game. I really got a good feeling about it. I think we will win this game. But to do that, Adu and Awaka need to have 25 plus points 10 plus rebounds.
And Connect has to shoot better.
And Connect needs to shoot better, and Ziegler needs to shoot better. Everybody struggled shooting that last time. We need Gainey to have 6 to 8 points. Ziegler to have his 15 to 18. Connect to have his 25 or so.
And we have to shoot Chase Creighton off of that 3-point line.
And we got to not give up on defense. We are a very good defensive team, but that's it. That is where we're at. So whenever we get through those rounds, we'll have another recap. I think here in a couple weeks, whenever we finish up the basketball season, just a little FY info, we might have another special guest again. So we might have one coming up here. But let's hit a little highlights now of a little breaking news that's been going on in the realm of the NFL. They've took out another tackle. You can't do the hip tackle, which means
swiveling,
grabbing somebody
and twisting
around the waist and
twisting or thrusting,
and dropping your body to the ground. Trying to use your weight to tackle somebody for the thing.
Though I've got a few problems with that, and here's why.
I've got a problem with it too.
I've got some issues with their explanation as well. They're saying they're trying to enforce player safety and trying not to enforce too many injuries.
This is tackle football. It's not flag football. It's not two-hand touch football. It's tackle football. What do you have to do with tackle football? You have to tackle somebody.
Yes, tackle.
You have to allow somebody to be tackled.
Yes.
Their excuse was what percent?
15% of the injuries were caused by it.
Their excuse was 15% of the injuries last year were caused by this tackle. The reason I think that's a load of crap is, let's say we get rid of that tackle. Next year, what will cause 15% of the injuries next year that they want to take out, and 15% of the injuries the year after that they want to take out? Eventually, it's going to be aggressive flag football. That's all we're going to have.
But
you can't dumb down the sport.
You can't
dumb it down. You can't dumb it down.
Elements.
No,
that's one of the key elements, ain't it?
Yes, that is one of the key. Now I can understand, protecting somebody's knee. You don't want to hit my hip right from the knee. I can understand the blind side. The
one rule that I think
like
they've actually done well at was the concussion stuff.
Yeah,
the CETE stuff.
No hits to the head, no hits to the knee, no blindside hits. I can see those because those could seriously injure somebody. But you can't take away tackle.
The hip
you can't
drop.
Take away the tackling.
So I wonder. I really wish they would have to show us. I want them to show us a guide and see how we should do it. Like, do we have to pick them up by the waist and put them down or something?
It's eventually going to be like that. They were making fun of that commercial where there's going to be mattresses out on the field, and you got to pick them up and take them over and lay them on the mattress. That's how you tackle somebody.
But
anyways,
fortunately for those people who don't like Roger Goodell very much,
there is rumors he's retiring in 2027.
That maybe we could get someone who knows what they're doing in front of the office.
I don't know. I don't know. I just hope it doesn't keep snowballing. I hope at some point they realize it and they say, okay, this is enough. Because normally when stupid people make stupid decisions, they normally snowball into more stupid decisions. And
turn into Roger Goodell's again.
Yeah. So I just hope that we can keep the game the way we like it. Any other breaking news? I think nothing else is going on right now. Baseball still in spring training. There's not been, like I said, Michigan picked up their new head coach. They took Florida Atlantic's coach. There's rumors of some big moves, but there probably won't be a whole lot of big moves in coaching until after the tourney's over. Unless
there has been rumors of Tom Brady purchasing the Raiders franchise.
Yeah, there's been rumors of that for quite some time. Some of his friends are there from his career, so that would be fun. You don't know what type of owner he is, and you don't know if he would keep his nose out of the business or if he would be good at sticking his nose in the business. We could just sort of see, but that would be fun.
Cordero Patterson has a new home in the Steel City.
Cordero Patterson is an Army Swiss knife. You can
throw him out on the
kickoff team,
especially on
wide
the
receiver, team. Running back, end around, slot receiver. You could do anything with him.
And Pittsburgh has that.
Pittsburgh has made some pretty good moves, really, to get their team back up. we'll sort of see how it works out. Other than that, I think that's about it for right now. We did make a little behind the scenes video. We got a tour behind Spectrum Center and got to see the court and some stuff. So we threw that video out there. We'll try to get it posted here sometime too. But be sure and check us out next time. We're going to hit the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, and then the Final Four is coming up soon. So be sure and check back.
See you next week.